Hi everyone, and welcome to the daily scope for the 28th of July, the new moon that starts at 6:54 p.m. GMT time. Also today Jupiter goes into retrograde at 9:38 p.m. so there's a lot to get through, so I'll talk about that later. So yeah, we have a new moon today. So at the time of the new moon, it's a good time to think about new ways to improve your life, start new projects, look for new career paths and start new courses and things like that. Still, it may not be best to take practical action just yet. So some of you be going ahead, starting these new things. Other of you will want to just think about them, or take some time out to create a strategic plan to ensure that you will stay consistent in trying to attain your fresh or continuing goals. So that's a good use of that energy. If you don't feel like starting new things, then to plan starting new things as well. On the negative side, a new moon can make you and others act more selfishly. And so yeah, when the moon and the sun make a trine to Jupiter, this is a good energy to use to reach out to people for help, look after all financial and business matters, looking at the positive even if life is depressing right now. This is an opportunity to look for solutions to your problems. However, Mercury and Mars both make a square to Uranus at this time. So yeah, it can give opportunities for original speech and self-expression. You may meet an eccentric person or be that unique person that someone else comes across that gives them unique information, that gives penetrating or uplifting insight, which can provide them with clarity. Again, Uranus energy is unpredictable, squaring Mars and Mercury, so there can be miscommunications, harsh words said, Mars there, harsh actions said as well. Saturn also makes a square to Uranus, and Saturn semi-square to Jupiter that goes on to the 3rd of August. That's been going on for about 2 to 3 weeks now. Can also make people more restless, a bit more emotional cold, a bit more aggressive, a bit more detached. Also, this energy of Saturn semi-square to Jupiter can make it hard for you to put these fresh ideas that may come into your head or what others may say to you onto paper. Due to mental blocks, like this new information can mess with your old beliefs you were told as a child, beliefs that you have come to believe is true. So mentally you're like, no, I can't take in this information. You may reject it, but this information that's told to you or revealed to you by other people or your own deductive reasoning or intuitive thoughts, gut feelings right now, may be the best way forward for you, but there can be misunderstandings of what is meant by this information. Your feelings of inadequacy can stop you from thinking you're good enough to use this new information, or just general resistance to change can all block out this new information or people that come your way, which serve to kind of push you out your rut and move you forward in your life progression so you can ultimately achieve the goals that you may have been putting off for a long time. With this Mercury and Mars squaring Uranus and Saturn square to Uranus as well, you and others may crave adventure and be more excitable. Some of you will go through with it. Some of you will be like, hey, I don't want to work. I just don't work at all and just skip work or skip school or whatever. Some of you, again, like I said, may get the feelings for adventure but be like, no, I can't do that. I need to conform. I need to stick to routine and miss this opportunity. Negatively, this energy adds an impulsive and egotistical behaviour to the new moon, which can lead to inflexible thinking that causes conflict in relationships. Also, Mars's conjunction with Uranus increases the chances of aggressive action or words. So, with all these squares going on with Mars and Mercury and Saturn and Uranus, this is like a given that there may be some kind of pushback from what is said or done at this time. Mercury also forms an opposition to Saturn, which adds to this difficulty of expressing yourself calmly, especially if you feel your boundaries are being attacked in any way. So yeah, there can be really problems with you explaining yourself calmly or in a way that others can easily understand you. There can be trouble with authority figures, of you feeling powerful. So yeah, there can be trouble with authority figures, or you may feel as though you're the only authority at this time, which can rub others the wrong way and add to the tension of an already kind of conflictful sort of day. So yeah, this can cause energy of the Mars and Mercury Square Uranus energy can cause a temporary break between your conscious reasoning skills and your critical thinking and ability to have good judgment, which can just lead to poor decision making really, and experiencing a lack of confidence for some of you, feeling like you're unable to stand up for your beliefs, or other people may make you feel like you can't stand up for what you believe in. So with this energy, it's best to keep focus on your work. This is the theme of this week, and hobbies, to keep out of trouble and avoid arguments. But hey, we're all only human after all. So yeah, the biggest square that's going to affect most of the day on the 28th is the Mercury Square Uranus that entered on the 28th of July at 9:17 a.m. Strongest at 10:15 on the 28th of July a.m. and is leaving at 11:19 a.m. on the 29th of July. So as I said, there's going to be a lot of extra showing off, extravagant kind of suspicious behaviour and action, you and others trying to manipulate each other, finesse each other to get what you want. Original ideas can come to you though that can make you extra money, extra guap. Some of you may wake up to the fact that you now want to be the main character in your life and wanting to sort of approach and hit life differently. Negatively, there can be a need for vibe check, because there can be a lot of bad energy around at this time. So yeah, you and others can be highly unreliable during this transit, lacking the ability to focus on your work, being mindful when operating electric, stay alert whilst travelling, plan extra time to complete tasks and journeys, as even regular trips that you make can take longer than usual. Impulsive action and decision making can lead to unexpected repercussions, as I said, but the best use of this energy is to be more open to new ideas and solutions, but there are going to be blocks to that, as I said earlier. But be cautious with any new theories or way of lives or anything you hear today, because they may not be practical for your current life circumstances, but still write them down or voice note them, as they may become more viable at a later date. Listen to new and quirky concepts with an open mind, but test them to make sure that they can come through and they're just not wistful sort of pie in the sky conspiracy kind of information that's not really founded on anything. But don't just say, oh, it's a conspiracy, and be skeptical about information just because of that. Just try and be open-minded. You may implement new tactics but not get good results right now. So as I said at the beginning of this, the new moon, start new things, yes, but for some of you it'd just be best to just write down these things and make a strategic plan to start at a later date. Some of you can be like, well, I've had enough of my life, and just make sudden changes in your belief system or appearances at this time. But again, going back to what I said, just test it out. Make sure that what you wanting to follow is truth and not some kind of cult or anything like that. Although you may want to rush in and rush ahead, it's best to double check everything, chew the fat around the details, especially when signing legally binding contracts. And as Jupiter goes into retrograde, and Jupiter's all about how we seek knowledge and new information on the intellectual, psychological, philosophical, higher meaning front, and it's going into retrograde, so this information what you hear today may not be for the best. So that leads me into Jupiter retrograde. So yeah, Jupiter goes into retrograde at 9:38, as I said, on the 28th of July. Jupiter is going to be retrograde for about 118 days. So it's going to last until the 23rd of November at around 11:15 p.m. So you've got a good 2 to 3 months, if not more, to use this energy to your advantage. So yeah, Jupiter in retrograde, keywords is thinking what you have come to know as true. You will find yourself being subjective to new information will come your way, questioning what religion or spiritual beliefs or emotional, psychological, intellectual, philosophical beliefs that you have with a view to change them. The whole point, the higher use of this transit is to harness your sort of higher consciousness, spiritual side, and to sort of like heal your subconscious mind, so any psychological and emotional wounds that you haven't healed, to go through that, because these often form blocks that make it harder for us to take in new information, to make those new changes that we do need to make in our lives. So yeah, as I said, Jupiter retrograde gives us a chance to broaden your perspectives, your horizons. It's good for personal development, spiritual, psychological, intellectual, scientific, technological, emotional growth. It's a time to reflect on what you believe and why you believe it, walking away from what society expects you to believe, and sort of like thinking about what it is you really want to stand for, what it is you really want to do. So you may find yourself seeking truth and looking at ways your family, friends, career, culture, or social groups' expectations limit your authentic self-expression. The Jupiter retrograde transit can help you find inner contentment and therefore stability of your emotional, psychological and spiritual health, giving you victory over your material conditions by using mind over matter, clearing out that subconscious mind, getting in tune with who you really are, going beyond who you really think you are right now and becoming who you actually authentically, innately are, allowing you to unearth any hidden talents and providing sort of like creative insight into what it is you really want out of life. So the key word of the Jupiter retrograde transit are creative visualization, introspection, self-reflection, looking at and making plans to change self-destructive habits, relationships, thoughts that are holding you back in your life, seeing past the material conditions, making reconciliation, peace with higher meanings, a higher power in your life, seeking more freedom and just wanting to advance maybe in your academically, becoming more detached, looking for kind of more spiritual, psychological growth and just expansion of your perspectives and your attitude. And yeah, so it's just evaluate, ponder and reevaluate. You can find yourself doing that loads and loads. So yeah, that's the daily scopes for the 28th of July. Thanks for listening. Take care.